Have you ever had one of those days where you're just like, all right, I'm gonna eat the last few cute little mushrooms in this bag, and I'm gonna go hang out at the park. And on the way to the park, you find an apple tree that has grapevines growing out of it. You're just like, oh, this is fucking awesome. You get a little bit too excited and you pick like 7 bunches of grapes before you even realize that you already drank a bunch of fruity drinks while you were taking your mushrooms. And damn, that's a lot of grapes, but you're committed now and it'd be wrong to waste them, so you just kind of walk the rest of the way to the park with a big old handful of grapes. And then you get to the park and you just leave a copy of the book that you wrote on a random bench because that's your idea of marketing, because you're an idiot. And then you wander off, you find some shade, you start reading your copy of Morals and Dogma, but you're halfway through it and Pike's going off about like the names of all the stars in the constellations that are actually apparently important for some reason or another. And that's finally a little bit out of your league. Like, everything else in the book made sense up until then, and then you're just like, I don't have the context for the astronomy here. And plus you're tripping, so you're like, alright, I'm just gonna roll around on the ground, I'm gonna smell this grass, which is really nice, and I'm just gonna do some stretches and whatever, and just laugh at the trees. But I'm not gonna laugh too loud at the trees because you don't want to weird out the normies. And besides, those trees weren't nearly as funny as like other trees that you've met in the past anyways. Then once you're done with the park, you go home and you pet all your neighbors' cats on the way, and that big puffy orange boy is just the essence of fluffiness. He's so cute. And I'm taking a while to get to the point here. But all I'm trying to say is you're just having a typical Thursday evening, and you get home and you're like, alright, it's time for me to have a nice little orgasm. Because that's the logical conclusion of a good day, or a bad day, or the beginning of a day, or the middle of a day. You just want to come, it's just a normal thing. But for some reason, things are just complicated this time. So like, you hop on Pornhub, and like your penis, it's already like swelling with blood at the, just the thought of all the tens of thousands of just delightful little sluts who are eager to share their sexuality with the camera just for you. But of course, like, the first thing you always notice on Pornhub is that they're still really forcing the like fuck your sister thing, and like they've been doing that for years, so like, you have to logically like question why the government, why the CIA wants you to think about fucking your sister so much. I mean, obviously you're supposed to protect your sister and teach your sister and like support her through hard times. It's the classic like sacred bond of being a sibling. So like, how does the government benefit from perverting that bond and making you like awkwardly think about fucking your sister all the time? Like, what is the purpose of all that? And at this point, you're just trying to orgasm. So like, you're just like, brain, stop making me think about fucking government mind control agendas and shit. You can't come when I'm thinking about this sort of bullshit. So, let's get the blood out of the upper chakras and into the lower chakras so that we can orgasm, and then afterwards we'll think about things with a clearer mind. We already know we're subjecting ourselves to all the weird mind control shit that the CIA is putting in porn, and that's just the price you have to pay to come. It's not that big of a deal. So yeah, then you snap back into the porn that you're looking at, and you somehow ended up on like a stepmom pegging a black sissy trans stepson, and you're just like, alright, this is alright, but we gotta switch up genres because it isn't quite cutting it. You're trying to masturbate, but there's just all these things that you have to think about. And so you get to the next link, and your stupid brain pipes in, and it's just like, what is the exact agenda behind like forcing everything to be interracial as well? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they're definitely like forcing it a lot. Just as much as the sister fucking thing. So like, there's got to be a reason for it. Like, maybe it's a positive agenda. Maybe they're, maybe the CIA is trying to remove racism by encouraging you to think about fucking other races, which, you know, that's one way to do it, I guess. That's better than nothing. But maybe it's the opposite of that. Like, I mean, because that would be nice, but maybe they're actually trying to increase racism by making, like, fucking idiots, like, jealous of all these big, beautiful black cocks, like, fucking the shit out of these tiny little white women. So, like, maybe that's increasing racism somehow. Like, I don't know what the agenda is. And speaking of, like, all the like interracial forcing thing, like, well, where's the interracial Jew porn? Honestly, like, you got to keep things fresh. You got to keep things interesting. You can't just, like, masturbate to the same things for like 15 years and, like, still expect it to work. You gotta come up with these new topics, you know. And I mean, I don't know what's wrong with my penis, but, you know, maybe I just want to see God's fallen ex-chosen people who now worship Babylon. I just want to see how they fuck sluts, like, because you don't see that very often. Like, I don't know, like, there's all the other races are represented, but you don't see Jew porn. I mean, if I saw a title that was just like, okay, there's a fat hairy Jew with a small penis fucks 6 ebony slave wenches, like, I might click on that. Like, I don't know what's wrong with my penis, honestly. Like, who knows what penises want? It's just, like, you gotta just check out new things sometimes, like, just for the novelty of it. And, I mean, it could have, like, a plot twist where, like, the fat Jew, like, can't keep his penis erect, and so he ends up just, like, paying the slaves to, like, just do lesbian stuff with each other. And then there could be, like, a further plot twist where, like, he steals all their clothes and then, like, masturbates to, like, sniffing their panties or something pathetic, and then he forces them to, like, pay him the money that he paid them just to get their clothes back. And then, like, for the final plot twist, some of them don't choose to buy their clothes back, and then they start a nudist colony, and then you have, like, that's how you transition into the sequel. You know, I don't know, I'm just throwing ideas out there for porn producers, whatever porn producers are watching my channel. You gotta keep things fresh. You know, you gotta, like, have some few new ideas out there. Anyways, so you get back into the porn that you're actually watching, and you realize that, like, you're fantasizing more about all the potential porn that could exist than you are even, like, getting into the mind of this, like, German gangbang goo girl who you ended up on. You don't even know how you ended up there, but it's really frustrating because you still can't come, and, like, gone through, like, a bunch of different videos, and, like, your dick's starting to get, like, chafed, you know, you rub it raw and it's starting to, like, bleed a little bit, but, you know, for some reason you're, like, kind of into the pain, because, I mean, we've all been there before, you know, we've all just masturbated through chafed dicks. But sometimes it helps to get into the minds of, like, these, like, masochistic little sluts, like, when you're experiencing pain yourself, you know. Anyways, so once you're getting into the mind of these masochistic little whores, and you decide to switch over to some good old-fashioned, like, BDSM, like, satanic blood ritual stuff, because you figure that's appropriate for, like, the planet that we're on, and regular stuff obviously isn't cutting it at this moment. But, like, before your dumb brain can even just be like, all right, well, if it's bad that the government's making me think about fucking my sister, could there be anything, like, wrong with the subconscious implications of watching? And then you're just like, no, shut up, brain. I'm getting inside the minds of these, like, eye-rolling orgasms of these just desperate little sluts, and the weird torture devices they're racked up into, and it's great. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, just don't make me question it right now. I'm trying to focus. And, you know, like, so thank God you're not your penis, right? Like, you can, like, it's totally different. It's a totally separate entity. You can just dissociate from that little, like, whatever weird depravity it's into. It's not your true self. It's just doing its own thing. You can just let it go explore whatever it wants to explore, and I'm sure there's no negative repercussions that affect what your true self is all about. Because it's its own little monster. Just don't even just let it be. So yeah, you're watching these BDSM compilations, and it's just still struggling to come for some reason, and it's really frustrating. and you're like, every time you're almost in the mind of one of these little sluts getting fucked, you're just like, you're about to break the barrier, but then like the compilation video, like it switches to a different slut, and you just like set you back. You have to like rethink it, and it's really annoying. So like compilations clearly aren't doing it, and your dick is like really chafed at this point. You just want to get this over with, so you can like just heat up some chicken tendies and go night night. And like the whole world of porn is not enough for you right now, and it's just frustrating. You don't know why, but then that's when you realize what the problem is, and it's you've been looking at 3D women this whole time, and that's obviously what the problem is. Like, you know, like 3D women are so annoying. They're all super entitled to your penis. They think that like they can just have it if they want it. And they're probably intellectually inferior to you, most of them, like, honestly. And let's be real, would you touch like any of the gross little whores that you've been trying to masturbate to? Obviously not. Like, obviously you wouldn't touch them. So you figured out the problem is that you're looking at 3D women. So you know, now that you've isolated it, you start switching it. You start looking into all these different kinds of hentai. And you've already gone quite a ways past like vanilla stuff. You know that's not going to work this time. And so you're digging into things. You finally get something that's like activating your penis, actually getting it going. And it's like this weird like these demon possessed animals, you know, just like raping these tiny little girls. But it's okay because they're not actually animals; they're demons, and it's not actually rape because they're definitely into it. And they're actually not tiny little girls either, because they're 1,000-year-old shape-shifting dragons who just happen to look like tiny little girls. So it's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you're finally getting into, you know, what you need and able to come. And like you're getting closer and closer, and like she's like being like ripped apart by these demons, and like you're on the verge of coming, and then like the demons also come inside of her, and it like lights her body on fire, and she like explodes, and you like come at the same time as the demons. But like it's okay because like she gets revived in a later episode and then like rapes them back, but it's like, but they don't like it because it's like, so it's actual rape, and that's like proper vengeance, so like it's fine. And you finally came. You know, and the cum is like burning on the tip of your bleeding little penis. It's all chafed, and you know, there's nothing wrong with anything that just happened. You know, it's just you gotta acknowledge your urges. You gotta accept yourself. You know, acceptance is more important than forcing change in things. So you know, you're finally satisfied. It's been a good day. So I mean, I guess the only point I'm trying to make is that if you've ever struggled to achieve orgasm, like I feel that pain. You know, I've been there. It's not easy. You know, it's really rough. It doesn't seem fair, and like it shouldn't be that hard to come when you've only masturbated like twice earlier in the day. And you know, it's like it's totally the government's fault too, because they're putting all the like subliminal messaging and like forcing me to think about like what their agenda is instead of just like coming. Like it's fucked up. So you know, if the government would just stay out of my porn, then I wouldn't have to like it's not fair. Like I don't want to have to worry about why you want me to think about fucking my sister so much. Like why is that such a huge priority? I don't know. Anyways, I shouldn't have to think about your like whatever destructive agenda you're going for, you know. And it's like it's basically the same thing as the government like choosing birth control for women and like whether or not they can have abortions. You know, it's basically the same as that. It's like a total Me Too sort of situation. You know, like I like Me Too. All right, and that's the end of that character. That's a little bit too far. Me Too is actually a really serious problem with human males being fucking retarded ape fucks, so like I can't make that last joke. That's the one that's too far. Everything before that, you know, I'm sure the satire and subliminal messaging is readily apparent, and But I can't make the last joke. I can't compare that to Me Too. So yeah, please forgive me for being so crass, but I'm trying to encourage certain and discourage certain other subconscious thought constructs. So hopefully you can see past the edginess and get what I was going for. Anyways, let's fix everything that's fucking wrong with the world. Bye!